G'day, everybody, and welcome back to a live and dangerous Wind Against Tide. I don't know if you know this. Well, everyone probably does know this, but there's some crazy thunderstorm activity going on tonight. And I reckon it just affected our network, Joey. It wouldn't let us go live for a second.
Well, there's no thunderstorms here, Davey. It's good to be back at Pod HQ. It's been a long time. We've got quite a bit to catch up on. Dave and I have been traveling. Dave's been at the boat show. Big show for you guys tonight.
Mate, it's been a while. Yeah, we haven't actually done a live feed since back before the Melbourne Boat Show, which, big thanks to everyone that came down and said g'day there. We were absolutely crazy busy, run off our feet for 3.5 days. Joe didn't bother showing up, but we did have Jonah Yick come over, Dave Jurisic, Suraj, the main man, helped us out, my beautiful wife, Madeline, and my brother, Will, and I'm probably forgetting someone, but we had heaps of help, and it was a great event, Joey.
And some fantastic sponsors as well. Had a lot of gear as well available at the stand.
We did.
Lots of merch.
Giveaways courtesy of Shimano, and fishing online in Hastings was fantastic to put some smiles on some dials, Joe. So beautiful weather, beautiful boats. It was a good time. Now, what were you doing, Joe, while the rest of us were checking out the Melbourne Boat Show?
I was at a wedding in Thailand. My dear friends Jason and Tanya from Superband, they got married in Thailand in luxury. But that didn't stop me from doing all things to do with fishing. I booked a day at exotic fishing in Thailand. For those who haven't seen the video up on our channel from last year, it's a lake in the middle of the Thai jungle, right at up at the top at Phuket, and it's 5 acres the property, and there's over 70 freshwater predator species there. It's a man-made lake, and it's surrounded by all these beautiful fishing huts, and it's basically like a giant coarse fishing lake. So up on your screen there now, I'm holding beautiful ripsaw catfish. It's called a ripsaw catfish. As you can see down the lateral line of the fish there, it's very, very sharp, which I'm wearing the big overgrown gardener's gloves there, because that is like a serrated edged knife, hence the name ripsaw catfish. I don't know what the scientific name is, but yeah, that's about, say about 15 kilos, that one. It was a big chunky fish. But look, it was pretty slow day at exotic fishing Thailand. I fished at that lake for 8 hours. I only had the ripsaw catfish and the red tail catfish. It was really, the park manager at the time had told me, James, he was a fantastic bloke. He mentioned that we were coming at the back end of the monsoon season, so it's very humid and it had been raining, and also living in this massive lake is bait fish. And what happens at the back of the monsoon season, a lot of the bait fish spawn. So all the giant predators, the arapaima, the red-tail cats, the alligator gars, all these big fish, they're quite well fed because there's an abundance of bait fish that have actually spawned at the back of the monsoon season. So the predators weren't very hungry, were burrowing very, very hard all day long, and only managed the 2 bites. But literally last time I was at this park back in August in 2022, the fishing was great. In about a 3-hour period that I was there, we'd caught an arapaima, about 80 kilos we had it on, but it shook the hooks, and about 7 or 8 red tail cats and some Siamese cats. So really definitely worthwhile checking out. It's most picturesque place. Literally, you get dropped into the middle of the jungle. It's like a scene out of Jurassic Park. But we'll post some stuff on our socials if you guys want to check that out. So that's what I've been up to in Thailand, Dave.
So just the fishing part, Joe? No extracurricular activities going on there in Thailand?
Oh, look, we had a night on Bangla Road, checking out some of the local talent by musicians, because after all, I am a bass player, and we checked out some nice bars. But no, we stayed at a beautiful resort, and it was a really happy wedding with about a group of 35 musos from Melbourne. So we all had a good time.
Good
Recommend.
stuff, Joe. I've had some big news to announce. So obviously I've known about this for a little while. My close friends already know about it, but we're going to have another little fishing lad join the Standing family, Joey. So that's very exciting news. Woo!
Oh, shit. I even got Siraji on that for a second.
I like that. That was good. Good addition. So yeah, another little boy on the way. So yep, I'm screwed. Right in the middle of barrel season. Joe didn't plan that one out very well, but that's going to be awesome. Stoked about that. We nearly got the full crew, Joe.
Oh, glad to see. Well, you got more testosterone. You got more boy making capabilities than girl making capabilities. So
it certainly seems that way. Now, Joey, I've just recently returned from Le Tour de Tasmania with the family.
Oh, isn't that a famous yacht race?
Is it? I don't know. I was kind of working off the Tour de France, the cycling race.
Yeah, and I was working after Melbourne to Hobart, Le Tour de Tasmania.
Tasmania. So anyway, we went over there as a family, and we got a RV type thing. I wouldn't call it an RV, actually, Joe. It was a van.
A van of happiness. Yay!
A van of shame, we shall call it.
Why? What was wrong with the van?
So it was like a Mercedes Sprinter.
Oh, it sounds fancy.
Yeah, Mercedes. You can't go wrong with Mercedes, can you?
No.
So it was fitted out for sleeping in, obviously. And me and my wife and our 2-year-old, basically the plan was to drive around Tasmania and stop it basically everywhere we could and sleep. But yeah, it look, don't get me wrong, had a great trip, but turns out that being in a tiny van with a toddler is not a relaxing holiday at all, Joe. It was very hard work. Coupled with that, we got COVID about halfway through the trip, including Madeline, my aforementioned pregnant wife, who, that wasn't very fun for her. So hard times, but enough about that. I did sneak some fishing in, Joe.
Wait. Let's wind this back a bit. So you're in a luxury Mercedes RV van. Did it have air conditioning in it?
Yeah, it had all that. No aircon once you parked.
Did it have toilet?
No toilet.
Did it have Wi-Fi?
No Wi-Fi.
Did it have ice cube maker?
No, Joseph.
Did it have electric blanket?
No, Joseph.
Did it have at least a double bed?
It had 2 beds, none of which I fit in. For anyone who doesn't know, I am 6'6", and there was the bed basically, if you can imagine, ran across the back of the van, and I was extremely crumpled up and in.
Oh, it's Merry Christmas Lord, from Wild Chicken.
Wild Chicken's back. We haven't seen him for a while, and he just goes bang with a $50 donation. You are the man.
He just slammed a pineapple down on the counter. Wham.
So yeah, I was crumpled up, and we didn't have really any comfortable night sleeps, Joey. But needless to say, the last, I think, 3 to 4 nights, we thought we went bugger it. We parked the van up. We got some beautiful accommodation at the Louvre Hotel there at Eagle Neck, my old favourite location, and we actually got some reasonable sleep.
Isn't that the Louvre Hotel in Tasmania? Isn't that close to your favourite of all time scallop pie stop? Scallop. I keep calling it scallop.
Well, when we used to always go down there fishing, because for those who don't know, back in the day, we used to take the U-Fish TV bar crusher across to Tasmania. And
on the Spirit of Tassie, right?
On the Spirit, back before things were stupidly expensive.
Before inflation was real, hyperinflation.
That's right. And we would leave the boat down there, and on our way down, we'd stop at Murdunna, I think it was, at the Roadhouse there, and they had beautiful scallop pies. And so on my trip around Tassie, I was searching for the perfect scallop pie. Most people had them listed, but yeah, the one we ended up selecting was just such a letdown, Joe. I was I was very sad.
How can a scallop pie be a letdown? Has it like been
It's just
sitting in the warmer? Was it not that popular?
it just the
Was
it
the
was
chowder not creamy enough?
it's just a
Like,
bit
gonna have to talk to me.
it's just a bit deflated, you know? Like it was just a bit deflated and just I don't know, like
Mm,
the ratio wasn't amazing of the amount of scallops in there. But you know,
the pastry wasn't puffy enough.
pastry wasn't puffy enough. I mean, it just wasn't like it used to be, you know what I mean? So
Oh, you couldn't even just drown it in tomato sauce and just shovel it
well,
in.
you can't do that to a scallop pie, Joe. So that was upsetting. So we did go to Port Arthur, which is quite famous for the penal colony there, Joe.
What?
Penal. And we had a look
What?
around there.
Penguins?
No, where the convicts were all settled there.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
So
Thought you
yeah,
were trying to be funny.
yeah, I was.
Okay.
Yep. No, all good, mate. So yeah, we were we're on different wavelengths as usual. So we went down and had a look at that, and then the other thing that Port Arthur is quite famous for, which they don't really talk about much there, is the old Port Arthur massacre. And we won't dwell on that part of it, but I'll just say that my wife went on a bit of a Port Arthur massacre of the Google ratings for all the local eateries after we went through there, Joe.
Shit. Was it that good?
It was a bit left to be desired. So
Wait, Tasmania is famous for fantastic food. Are you trying to say you didn't have a good food experience?
No,
at
we
all?
had some nice stuff. What I would say pick of the trip was probably the Lobster Shack at Bishano, Joe, looking straight over the water there, beautiful ocean ramp. And do you know the other thing, Joe? I did a bit of a boat ramp tour of the country, the state of Tasmania. I checked every single one of them out, and I decided which one's my favourite. And I also checked all the good squid grounds around the whole state. Everywhere I went, I thought that looks good for squid. So I've got that covered. Fishing wise, Joe, family holiday, but I managed to sneak. Basically, last second, I jammed a reel into my suitcase, and when we got off the plane, I went and bought a rod from
Mhm.
Anaconda. Black Friday sale, so it was super cheap.
Oh, awesome.
And I did a little bit of flicking while I could. A couple of the highlights of just the land-based stuff that I managed to do in between the family stuff was we got some beautiful squid off the beach at Coles Bay, Joe, which is amazing location there at Coles Bay, just mountainous ranges in this beautiful, calm, protected inshore bay, and some great hikes through the forest. And Sammy caught his first squid off the beach. I was showing him, he no joke, at under 2 years old, was whipping that rod like a champion, and his first squid. So we did a little bit of that. And I also, on Bruny Island, thanks to the brilliant tutelage of Jonah Yick, managed to catch a beautiful black brim on my favourite Z-Man grub motor
Oh,
reel. So
wow.
there you go.
I thought you might have been chucking the muss lure.
I can't afford that.
Oh,
The musk lure doesn't clear customs.
what? Why does people think you're smuggling drugs inside it or something?
They don't want you bringing clams in.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's biosecurity.
Biosecurity, that's right. But so Joe, we're away for 2 weeks. The deal was I get at least 1 day proper fishing. And so I lined up with Jonah.
Wait. So what was the actual deal? How many days of family versus how many free days? Fishing?
Well, it was like 13 days of family and 1 day fishing. That's the way I saw it.
Seems like a fair deal.
So I lined up with Jonah. The weather turned on us as usual. It wasn't looking good. Every day that we thought we could line up to go and I'd be in the right area, it got worse and worse.
So what you're trying to say is you were gearing up to go out with Jonah into the saltwater fishing.
That's right. And then as we approached the only day that I had, the only day that the weather was going to allow us to go before we went home, which was the day before we left, another problem loomed, Joey. It was my wife's 30th birthday.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
So
how is that a problem?
Well, therein lies the issue. Do you go abandon your wife and child on her 30th to go fishing? Anyway, needless to say, me and Jonah had a great day out of Eagle Hook Neck deep dropping.
And
No, my wife was very good about it, and she was happy for me to go get a fishing fix because I was probably getting really annoying.
I got to ask you, reunited with your old boat.
Yeah, bit of a trip out, Joe. First time I've seen my old boat, the Cootercraft Gunshot, in about 3 or 4 years since I dropped it off down there to Jonah. We've been trying to get down there, but just weather and timing and cost and all that has gone against us. But
That boat was actually your child before you gave birth to a real human.
it was really good to see it, and Jonah's certainly caught a hell of a lot of fish in it. He's made some alterations, which he's made some alterations.
Oh, please go on.
No, she's looking really good. Jonah does, because he's a safety conscious fella. He does have a nice auxiliary engine on there, Joey. So it's now a twin engined vessel, which is fantastic for safety. I mean, you want that, especially out there in the remote parts of Tasmania. Doesn't get any more wild than that, Joey. Anything south of you is Antarctica, and you want that safety. But the slight issue with this is he's got a bracket that's mounted off the engine pod, and what that bracket is very good at is basically projecting water from the ocean into the cabin of the boat. So you're standing there as a passenger, and just water's just hosing down the back of your legs, which for myself, who had no wet weathers or anything, obviously, because I don't wear them at the best of times, but especially when I'm traveling. By the time we got to the shelf, it was quite rough, but it was a good reminder because it was pretty average weather, Joe. Just how capable that little boat is. I almost forgot how well that thing rides, and as a 18-foot boat, she's definitely still an absolute weapon.
I remember lots of trips in that Gunshot. Yeah, definitely punches well above its weight. That boat.
It definitely does, Joe. And we caught some beautiful fish. I mean, the good thing about obviously down there is the continental shelf's very close in.
So it was a deep dropping session you had.
We went deep dropping. It was kind of in between. Even though I still tried to convince Jonah to go barrel fishing, even though there was 0 reports or 0 barrels there, I still half had a crack at convincing him. But I'm glad that we didn't do that. We went out deep dropping, and so it's in between tuna season and sword season there currently. So all that's kind of ready to kick off again in the next probably 2 to 3 months. There's actually some big tuna at the deep south there at the moment, Joe, but not at Eagle Hook Neck where we were.
Yep.
So yeah, we went out there into around 400 to 500 meters, and this is something obviously me and you don't do a lot of, because for us to get to any shelf, we're traveling, minimum of, if we go out of Portland or down there, it's about 40K plus. If we go out of Lakes Entrance, it's about 80K or more to get to any shelf. So we don't do a lot of specific deep dropping. We, every now and then we'll drop an electric when we're sword fishing.
I feel like for us, it's like going to the casino. We've got all of our chips on the roulette table, and we rather put all of our chips into a sword or a tuna. We don't put our chips into the blue eye column or the harpooker column when we're pooling all of our money together to go down the coast.
No, that's right. The deep dropping rigs come out after a day and a half when it's dead calm and delirium's kicking in, and you just think, geez, we just need to catch something here. So you whack some leftover sword bait off cuts on a deep dropping rig, and you send it down to the depths, and you catch some ling or something, but you're not really doing it properly. You're kind of chasing swordfish and dropping a bait. I think if you were to concentrate on those bottom ooglies, you'd obviously have a lot more success, which is what Jonah and I did. And it was very interesting. I mean, his rigs are unique. I'm sworn to secrecy about them, Joe, because he does some wacky stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But we worked out a bit of a pattern that day, which was the fish were hard on the bottom, and we managed to, first of all, we caught some beautiful, actually, I'm going to get a photo up here.
Yeah, do you have a little highlights reel?
No, I don't really have a highlights reel. Hang on, just bear with me.
Yeah, we'll bear with you.
We're going to get some photos up here. We caught some beautiful grenadier. He's a grenadier.
Oh, yeah.
Which is also known as Hokey, Joe.
Oh, and there's a perfectly timed seagull in the background there too.
Absolutely glorious. And so, Hokey, people do like to eat these fish, but probably not the highest rating of the deep sea fish.
I'm sure fresh they're absolutely sensational.
They
Usually
are.
when we eat hoki, they've been deep frozen for a long time.
And we had a battle royale with the big albatrosses there who kept trying to steal our hokies and our gemfish, which is another one that we caught, Joe. A couple of the, because sometimes when you're deep dropping, when you're about 20 meters from the surface, the fish will come off. Thanks for the donation, Will Standing. That's beautiful. Is that my Christmas present?
Family KK.
The fish will come off and float to the surface, and as in they come off the hooks, Joe, but their swim bladder's already blown, so they float to the surface. And the albatrosses and that are sitting there waiting. So we had a couple of battles with the birds. So I filmed all this, Joe. So it's going to make a brilliant bit of footage for our YouTube channel.
I can't wait. That's going to be fantastic to watch over the Christmas holidays.
I've got some footage to edit, Joe, because I also made sure I grabbed Jonah's giant swordfish footage while I was down there of his 280 something kilo swordfish.
Oh yeah, is it going to be like a River Monster style interview and like the slow music and like Jonah's like in a pitch black studio like all in casual clothes, and then it'll just switch to him like grinding on a rod
with Jonah the scientist.
We could release that on Netflix.
We actually could. So, do you know I heard an interesting fact this week, and I don't know if it's true. Apparently, that Jeremy, what's his name?
Jeremy River Monster,
whatever his last name is. He stopped filming that episode because he literally caught all the river monsters.
Oh, he's just ticked the box.
That series, so it's done. He caught them all. Game over. So yeah, another little photo here, Joey. I thought I'd get a shot in front of the old boat with my little boy. A memento to keep for when I'm old and grey and don't fish anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a fantastic end to a up and down trip, I would say, Joey. But yeah, fantastic. I didn't actually get to eat any of this fish because it was the last day before we went home on the plane. So that was very sad to not get to dine on some of those delicacies.
That is shattering. All those tasty deep sea fish, and you didn't get to eat them.
That's right. Yeah, no, I didn't get to eat any of it. I was stuck with the Louvre Hotel $37 Hawaiian Palmer, Joe. $37.
What? Pineapple doesn't belong on a Palmer. What the hell? Seriously?
Not for $37, it doesn't. I forgot to mention that day, Joe. We only really got to go out for about 6 hours because it was a ginormous low tide at Eagle Hawk Neck, Pirates Bay, and we were a bit worried about the surge on the boat ramp. So we couldn't come in on the dead low. So that was just another little addition to the day we had to work around. So, we made it happen. We got out there and we caught some fish. And then whilst I was grabbing some beautiful drone footage on the when we came in, Joe, we had a bit of an incident. They don't call it Eagle Hawk Neck for something, for no reason, my friend, because here I am piloting the drone around. And as you can see, we've been attacked.
Man, that was like lightning. That's like Luke Skywalker and the Death Star.
So anyone standing there with me on the dock as I was flying that drone around would have audibly heard me screeching out, "Oh God, we're going down. We're going down." And the drone was dropping towards the water and would not respond to my movements. But eventually she righted herself and away we went, Joey, back up into the sky.
It's like the X-Wings droid just got freaking taken out. Wow!
That's right. So our crash insurance that we took out on the drone nearly had to come in handy. But there was also quite a close call with a yacht mast.
Look, DJI drones. It's literally like a video game. You take out this insurance policy on your drone, and it's just like Super Mario Brothers. You've got 3 lives before it's game over. So definitely, if you've got a drone, worth taking out some insurance because,
especially if you're as reckless as we are.
Oh yeah, we're totally daredevils.
And I can tell you, landing a drone on a moving boat is very difficult.
Yeah. Well, luckily you're like 6'7", and you just put your arm up and
they call me the drone catcher.
It is.
I just grab it out of the air.
I love it.
So yeah, that's I hope that sort of gives you the picture of that little trip, Joe. A little bit of casual fishing, and then we had one glorious day on the deep blue, which got the fishing out of the system and just reminded me how beautiful that part of Tasmania is.
Awesome, Davey.
Now, since that trip, we've been out a couple of times, haven't we, Joe?
We have. We've been enjoying what is left of the Victorian snapper season. And last week in particular, we were out with Suraj and Chris, Mr. King Kong, Donkey Kong himself, who's been absolutely slamming the snapper land base. He's had a phenomenal snapper season land based off the stones, but he wanted to reunite with us and go fishing in his favorite boat with his favorite captain, Captain Dave.
The thing is, Joe, he's caught more and bigger snapper on the rocks than we have caught in the boat. Albeit we haven't been able to get out very much, but he's had days where he's caught 6, 7, 8 fish over 70 centimeters, bagged out, and had to leave them biting. He literally just came out on the boat because he wanted to eat food with his friends and drink wine and be merry. And
which is a lovely philosophy too.
It is,
and he really enjoys it as well.
He is.
You know, you sent me a message afterwards. We're about to show the video of what actually unfolded, but the day after, he was just like, Joe, I had great food, good company, and a few drinks, and that's what he really enjoys. Sometimes we, like Dave and myself, we're groomed to be like super competitive, very results driven in fishing, but sometimes it is nice to come back to earth and actually just enjoy it for what it is in its most basic form, which is, you know, enjoying with friends, bit of sanctuary, bit of peace and quiet, and enjoying each other's company. So
beautifully put, Joe. Anyway, things went awry on this particular trip. We'd been sitting there for some time. We'd just eaten delicious goat curry, which, you know, may not spring to mind as your first boat snack, but it's bloody delicious. And so a reasonable snapper of about 3 to 4 kilos tears off into the sunset.
Yeah, and everyone was so polite on board. In fact, we were Dave was about to pull the rest of his hair out.
Don't do this on my boat or anyone's boat. Do not be all, no, you go, no, you go, no, you go.
And all the rods are nibbling at this point.
And the rod's buckled, and by the time someone picks it up, you've dropped the fish. Grab the freaking rod, sort out who's going to wind it in later, keep the line tight. Nothing annoys me more than damn polite people, Joe. That should be grinds my gears, actually.
We now go to Peter Griffin for You Know What Really Grinds My Gears.
Yeah.
Yep. No, grinds my gears. So anyway, we did a bit of that. Anyway, luckily this snapper engulfed the bait, so it was hooked very well.
Well, it did. It engulfed the bait so much, this particular snapper, the hook had gone right through its cheek. So literally it was like monofilament line was in it. But as a result, you had 2 5-0 suicide hooks
dangling,
flapping and dangling and flapping in the air.
Anyway, I'm there and I'm going to get my camera to get some shots of this fish, and I'm thinking to myself, why is there 3 grown men holding that snapper in the air and trying to get the hook out? It looks
the net.
It looks very awkward. Anyway, I think to myself, should I tell them to put the snapper down and stop doing that? And I think, no, Dave, don't be a control freak. So I go into the cabin to get my camera out, and next thing I hear is Suraj says, "Oh no, mate." I turn around, and yep, he's got a 5-0 hook lodged through his thumb. So maybe we'll play this video now, Joey.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, Suraj. Yeah.
Up on your screen now.
Oh no, Suraj!
This is going to
Push it through a bit more.
He's shocked.
Can you remove it? Oh.
Yeah, you got to push the barb through.
No. Maybe
go
the other way around.
It's going to go through that way, Dave. Suraj.
Thinking about snipping the barb.
His finger.
Dave had to hold his finger.
See, keep going.
He's pushing the hook through his finger.
Keep going. Any death hole?
Yeah, I got it.
Any death hole.
Just give me a hold of it.
We got it out.
Got some snapper, man.
Oh, this is the best part.
Lucky thumb, man. It's given blood in the sea. It's going to take a lot of blood out. Cheers.
So that is the attitude of Suraj. Doesn't care about the hook in his finger. Goes back to wanting to catch snapper.
What did he say? This thumb's taken a lot of blood out of it.
And now it's going to take it from the sea. But the interesting thing about Joe, is by pure chance, just before we went fishing, I happened to put a pair of side cutters in my pocket. So somehow I must have known something was going to go awry. Realistically, it's because I put some shark traces in the boat because of all the bronze whalers around at the moment. I thought, well, we might drop a shark bait and then I'll need the side cutters to cut the trace. So very lucky that I had that in my pocket. And the hook, so the barb wasn't completely through his thumb. So we had to physically pop it through the skin and then get the side cutters and cut the shank and then feed it through. And the groaning here in that video is actually me groaning because it looked gross.
No,
But,
Siraj was tough as nails.
My initial reaction was I was screaming at Joe to film it because we'd literally just made a TikTok account that night. And I was like, TikTok, this is good TikTok stuff. Then I realized it was a bit more serious and the hook was genuinely straight through the middle of his thumb. And for everyone that mentioned Joe, he had to get a tetanus shot. He went and got a tetanus shot. So he should be safe.
Yeah, that's good. And, a lot of fan mail was like, he better get a tetanus shot, but he's all right, Suraj.
He's all right. We caught a few fish that night, Joe. We caught, I think we ended up with 5 or so snapper. And from what was a bit of a quiet night from what everyone else was reporting. So not too bad. How
do you rate the Western Port snapper fishing currently?
Oh, look, we really haven't been out, so our finger isn't on the pulse. We've been out. I went out just before we went away too. Had a nice session on my own. Had some screaming rods in the middle of the night, Joe. And then we've just been out the other night, and we just ticked along slowly and got a couple. Nothing big, but there was a period there, probably around the boat show, when we were really busy with that, and you were overseas and everything, that they were just going off their tree in Western Port for quite a while. So it looks to me like it's been a very good season, and I think everything seemed to have run a little bit later than normal. Or the fish hung right up the top of the system there around Temby Point, Coronella, Blue Gum. Those areas we go early season, they hung around up there for a very long time. Yeah. And only
a lot of blokes had a few good sessions off Temby and Blue Point.
And only later on did they sort of spread south a little bit. But the Western Port, it seems like as the water shot up, it's tapering off a little bit, which is what it does this time of year. But Port Phillip looks to be going pretty strong still, Joe. So, there's definitely a couple of good weeks left in it. And then we might see them slow down as the main spawning action goes on. And then, we see a bit of an autumn bite for those that are still keen on the snapper.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, good fishing trip the other day, Joey, and good food. And just a little lesson to make sure you got all your safety gear up to date on the boat and you're prepared for the worst to happen, because I've never had that on the boat before, Joe.
Yep. And you were looking for the first aid kit as well. Make sure you got Band-Aids. Make sure you've got cutters on the boat.
Well, I outsmarted myself because I put the first aid kit in a grab bag, and for some reason I remembered it being somewhere else in the boat, and I was blaming everyone that it had been taken out of the boat. Then I remembered where I'd stashed it, and so yeah, good to stay aware of where all your safety gear is, which I think we spoke about recently on our podcast with Mark Sullivan, who had the unfortunate whale encounter. So that's why we had the grab bag going, but just had to remember all the gear was in there, and we got Suraj patched up, and he just kept fishing, actually. He didn't care.
Like a maniac.
He loved it.
Yeah.
He didn't care. I figure he's probably, all the alcohol in the system probably just numbed the pain, and he probably was immediately sterilized anyway, Joe. So yeah, interesting little interesting story it made for anyway, Joey.
Yeah. Well, I've got a little bit of a news update. In breaking news today, if you hadn't already caught, Spanish police seize 7.5 tons of cocaine hidden in frozen tuna. Yes, that's right. There's been another massive worldwide drug bust. 7.5 tons of cocaine hidden in frozen tuna.
I've got a news article up here, Joey. A video.
Oh, right.
Tons
There
of
we go.
cocaine and arrested 20 people in 2 different operations. In one, the drugs were found inside shipping containers in the northwest city of Vigo. The packages of cocaine were hidden between pieces of frozen tuna. In the second operation, the cocaine was found in false bottoms of shipping containers. Investigators say a criminal organization from the Balkan region was using a frozen seafood company as a front to bring the drug from South America to Spain.
All right, who did it? I want to know which one of you, which one of you tuna fishermen have been smuggling the is it cocaine?
Yeah, cocaine.
Into the frozen tuna blocks. Me and Joey immediately saw that on the news and thought, I'm sure we know whoever did that.
That seems like a good idea.
It's the oldest trick in the book, isn't it?
Well, back in my day, it used to be coffee grounds watching, Beverly Hills Cop and everything. But yeah, that's how you do it now. It must be cocaine in frozen tuna carcasses.
So quite the drug bust there in Spain, Joey. Not where you'd expect to see.
Yeah.
Not where you'd expect to see that.
Albanian gangsters, apparently. That's how they do it. So yeah.
That's it. Now, Christmas coming up, Joe. What fishing are you most looking forward to, my friend?
Oh, mate, we talk about this occasionally. This time of year, you've got a million different fishing options. Hopefully, the kingfish start happening now. If you look at the far east or the fast west coast, that starts to happen. The water gets warmer. Generally, the annual spawn of the whiting fishing in some of the bays starts to become tremendous.
Everyone switches to whiting about now, don't they, Joe? Because they think about fillet collecting in time for Christmas, and you snuck a trip in with your boss Fabian. I believe.
I did actually. Went out with Fabian Villela. He grew up in Tooradin, in fact. And look, we went out of Tooradin and up the top end of Western Port there's a whole bunch of these beautiful little channels that is just an absolute nursery for King George whiting. And just up on your screen now, we'll get that video going there. Fab. Whiting. Oh, it's a nice whiting. Yep. Some beautiful whiting. Up to mid-40s, in fact.
Mid-40s?
Yep.
Brent is in King George whiting.
And there was some huge trevally about as well. I caught my biggest ever trevally also. That was about 40 odd centimeters also, silver trevally that is. And just a good feed of whiting. But yeah, that top end of Western Port, I haven't really fished it that much, but absolutely sensational for King George whiting. And Fab has just got that place wired. He actually back in the day fished with Jack Yabby Wells, which was famously
old Yab Dog.
Yeah, he was famously written about in Rex Hunt's book that he used to look. He used to have crumpets. He worked at the crumpet factory, and they used to use the off bits of crumpets and put tuna oil in it and burley up the whiting.
Sounds like a ye olde Tooradin Fishing Club story, Joe.
Yeah.
So give us some whiting catching techniques then, will you? So
well, our best, it was the run out tide. So as we know in Western Port, if you're targeting those skinny little channels, it's fantastic to go on the run out tide because a lot of the food sweeps off those shallow mud banks. And if you position the boat, sort of on the drop off of those skinny channels, literally all the nutrients sweep off the banks and the outgoing tide, and sitting the fish follow the food there. But then also you'll be sitting with your pippy bait, or we were using a combination of pippy and Californian squid cocktail, and you've got delicious bait at the bottom of the drop off with that outgoing tide, and that's where we were intercepting the whiting. Fab, he doesn't use burley when he goes whiting fishing, doesn't believe in it. He believes in positioning the boat in the right stage of the tide, in the right location.
He doesn't burley.
No, doesn't burley.
That's controversial, Joe.
Yep, he says it gets too much of brings in the rubbish fish, brings in the leather jacket and the parrots and all the undesirables. And yeah, we didn't burley and we did all right.
Now, is Fabian and yourself circle hooks or long shanks?
He was using Black Magic circle hooks on the whiting.
Don't know why you had to mention the brand.
Yeah.
Seems like a bit of a paid promotion, Joe.
No, it's not. Those Black Magic circle. That's what the packet says. We're not sponsored.
No.
Yet.
But we're open to it. Okay, yeah, circle hooks. I like circle hooks when I'm whiting fishing too, Joe.
They hooked. Look, and the bite, we they were very timid. The whiting, we'd just see tap tap. You had to hold the rod in your hand. No good when whiting fishing, leaving the rod in the rod holder, because sometimes you've only just got half a second to strike with the whiting. Look, I know you're not supposed to strike with circle hooks, but no, we had to hit these little whiting because they were slurping those pippy cocktails like me on a good margarita at the Crown when I'm playing in the band.
I really wondered where you were going to go with that one.
So that was it. Yeah, circle hooks. They were good, but the only thing I didn't like about circle hooks, like if a leather jacket comes and takes down your circle hook, like you're gonna lose everything. But I don't know. I guess it's not that, it's not like big game fishing or snapper fishing. If you lose a hook when you're whiting fishing, very easy to tie one on. Anyways, my 2 cents.
I enjoyed it. The only issue I saw there was your terrible whiting stacking technique at the cleaning tables, Joe. You're supposed to have them nicely laid out in like a pyramid. It looks like you just flung them on the table there. I wasn't really happy with it.
I was freestyling.
Yeah, no, not so much into it.
I'm into whiting pyramids.
Yeah, no, we'll get out and we'll catch some pyramids of whiting.
Yeah,
shortly to eat because they're delicious.
Oh, but I got to tell you what, a new serving suggestion for whiting. It was actually Brent Day on board. Brent Day is a fellow real estate agent. Works at our Cranbourne office. He's got a TikTok account. He put his us fishing live on TikTok, and we had like 4,000 people watching. But that's one story. But he cooked up his whiting. So we filleted the whiting, took it home, and he made whiting fish taco with like some tartare sauce and like deep fried the whiting with a bit of with a lime squeezed and a little soft tortilla with a what's the Mexican beer? Corona. So yeah,
Corona.
Whiting fish taco with a Corona on a balmy summer's night. Like I copied it as well. A few days later, I said that's brilliant. I made my own whiting soft fish taco and had a Corona as well, and it was just beautiful.
That's great tips there, Joe. So we were talking about the Christmas period coming up. So we've mentioned whiting quite well there. We've got another exciting couple of species that will be coming into play very shortly, if not already: kingfish and tuna for the offshore aficionados.
Yeah, I'm hearing whispers that they have been spotted out there. Definitely some
school fish,
sunning tuna.
All
not blind, they're out there. You can see them with your eyes. That's a very good source.
The very frustrating one. So a friend of yours actually caught some the other day off Barwon Heads, I'm told.
Yeah, he didn't say the location, but that's all right.
No, I have heard of a few whispers. And when I was told about this a couple of weeks ago, I said, please, God, no.
Why did you say, please, God, no?
We need a break. We need a break from tuna, please. We really do. It's an all year thing, Joe, and we need a bit of a break. We need to stop doing stupid hours, burning fuel, running up servicing costs. It gets a bit out of control. It's a nice change when you just putt out and you get stuck into a few snapper or whiting, Joe. So for me, I'm happy to hold off a bit longer for them. But anyway, they're out there if you want to go for it. The kingfish. So did you know at the moment, Joe, there's like some offshore, the East Coast current is abnormally warm?
Yes, I did catch that. It was something like a marine heat wave in Tasmania.
Yes, that's the terminology.
Yep.
So it's pumping down the East Coast. So they're seeing some weird stuff. So apparently there's like sea snakes washing up on the beach at the South Coast, which is usually a tropical thing. And Tassie, the kingfish are already firing hard down there in the southeast of Tassie. So they've maybe bypassed, or we just haven't found them yet, us, and they've gone straight down there on that hot current, Joe. So
I wonder if the mahi-mahis are back off Portland again.
Well, they probably will be next year, even though that's current comes from the other direction. But anyway,
okay,
that's the Lewind current.
Oh,
Joe. So anyway, we could see some strange stuff. We could see some good marlin fishing. It's been a couple of years since we've had a good marlin bite in Victoria. That could happen again.
and it could be an amazing East Coast kingfish bite this year.
Yes, 100%.
Could be, some of those reefs or Tamboon, Marlow, the Prom.
Yep. Shane's saying target 0 tuna as opposed to 100. And you know what? If we could achieve that, that would be even more astounding than if we did catch 100. For us to not catch a single one, I don't think we'll be able to resist for too long, Joe.
No, we won't. There was nothing. We just had a time of our lives, slow popping those poppers and watching those tuna jump all over it. It was addictive, man.
It is. It's some of the most fun fishing you can have. But like I said, we need a break. It goes from tuna season straight into tuna season. So yeah, that's coming up over the summer, Joey.
The sooner I can get back to San Remo Fisherman's Co-op fish and chip shop, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Nah, you can't wait to be running out that entrance and back by the fish and chip shop. I see how it is. Weather forecast for this week, Joe. Are we bringing Joe Bunn back today?
Oh, sure. Why not?
All
Because the weather is all over the place.
I've got your favourite forecasting app, Seabreeze, up.
All right. So
Run us through it.
anybody who's thinking about going fishing from tonight onwards, we got a sea breeze here all over the shop. If I can look at the screen through this ring light, Dave, I'm going to need your help for up until Saturday, and then I've got it from there on in.
All right. Well, given there's thunderstorms around, we've got very hot, humid, unstable weather currently, Joe.
I hate this humid weather.
I used some really tech words then, didn't I? I sound like a weather forecaster.
I hate humidity. I have to have a shower like every 5 minutes.
I love it. I actually love it. I feel like I'm in tropical Queensland.
Yeah, nice.
So I don't mind it, even though you do get sweaty and yuck. But
Tomorrow.
some unstable weather, which funnily enough, you see some glass outs and some good snapper bites and stuff happening as this barometer bounces up and down and you get some random bits of calm weather, but then you do run the risk of getting killed by electrical storms.
Oh, yeah.
Which, killed, catch snapper. You got to weigh up what you want in life, I suppose, Joe.
Dave, as Suraj would say, everybody has choices in life.
Everybody has choices in life. That's right. So according to your favourite forecasting website, Seabreeze, it's actually a little bit of a calm period this evening. And as I said, wind swinging all over the shop with those thunderstorms. But
how's it looking tomorrow morning in the local Melbourne waters?
Well, first thing, it looks like it may be calm, and then it shoots right up throughout the middle of the day, and it's going to be an easterly breeze, Joe. I think looking at when people may want to start getting out on the water, we see a steadying of the weather system and some real calm weather through Sunday through Monday there, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was hitting the water, that's probably when I'd be looking at. But I suppose
Sunday looks beautiful. Well under 10 knots for like all day Sunday from like 6:30 onwards. Under 10 knots all day. Monday, it's swinging around to east-northeast of about 10 to 15 knots, which is not too bad at all. I'd be looking at probably going out of Port Phillip on Monday. And then Sunday, you could go really anywhere with such low winds before it races on up.
Races on
up back to 22 knots south-southwest.
I will never go fishing on a Sunday again, except I will be.
Yeah, too many Jiminy crickets.
There'll be a lot of Jiminy crickets out on Sunday, Joey. So that is the Joe Bunn weather forecast. We haven't done one for a little while. Sorry, Joe, I sort of sprung that on you a little bit. You weren't prepared.
Oh, that's okay. We've just got this beautiful halo light in front of the screen, but that's okay.
Studio lighting was in the way of your eyes. Not to mention it was kind of showing up in reverse on the live feed, but you did very well, Joe. So,
Dave, what I'm really excited for, speaking of Christmas species, I'm excited for marlin. I missed on the marlin sort of this year, just work and getting away, and when I did go, it wasn't very good. Didn't line up, but I'm excited for marlin. Can we please catch some marlin this year, my friend?
Mate, we're going to do a marlin trip. Don't you worry. I don't think it'll be for very long, but I'm sure we can sneak a day or two in there. I'm excited by the prospect, like I said, with that current. I'm hoping it'll push around into Bass Canyon, swirl in there. The bait will hold up at the oil rigs, Joe, and we could see some epic bites. I mean, in previous years in there, we've had boats getting, 15, 16, 17 bites in a day. Cricket score catches of striped marlin.
Yeah.
King Kong, Donkey Kong, mate.
I mean, that's on. That's a cricket clap. Cricket scores of marlin.
I'll never say no to Suraj being played over the soundbar though, Joseph. And we may see blue marlin pushing along May South. I mean, there was back in the day there was blue marlin captured down there.
What?
In the very south, yep, in lakes off Lakes Entrance, Joe, big ones too.
Wow.
So,
Can you imagine a blue off Lakes Entrance? Like you would actually be King Kong, Donkey Kong.
you know how weird stuff keeps happening in the fishing world. I'm calling it right now. So mark this down in your calendars, everyone. There will be marlin caught off Welshpool / Wilson's Prom in the next season or two. I reckon.
Yeah.
I reckon there'll be like a black marlin or a few black marlin or something will push in there on some random current, and they'll be caught that far into Bass Strait.
That'd be pretty cool.
You never know. You never say never these days, Joey. So got that to look forward to.
Look, and we had Steve Starlow on the podcast, and one of the talking points was about the good old days of fishing. Was the fishing better back then, or have things changed? I think we tend to think that the world's changing, then the fishing changes.
Yeah, 100%. And maybe it's some of it's going back to the good old days, but some of it, there's fisheries that are very average at the moment. There's fisheries that are better than they've ever been, Joe. And some of that's through, man-made side effects of, weather, pollution, et cetera, overfishing, netting. And some of that is a natural phenomena like this current. And it's a forever changing ball game. And I guess at the end of the day, Joey, that's why we love fishing.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, Dave, how is our Wind Against Tide website going?
Yeah, so we did what we'll call a soft launch of our website over the boat show. So it is up there if you want to go www.windagainsttide.com.au. Suraj has made a beautiful website for us. The plan was to get a shop up and running so people can easily buy some of our hoodies and stuff off there. But it's been such a busy period since the boat show, and we wanted to make sure it was perfect. We haven't launched the shop yet, Joe, so stay tuned for that one. We'll make sure we let everyone know. But if you just want to jump on there, it's a bit of a platform to check out what we're doing and what we've got coming up. And, jump on there, Joe. It's a good thing.
And also, as we mentioned before, Wind Against Tide is now on TikTok. We have become TikTokers.
We resisted.
We've now surrendered to our Chinese overlords, and we are on TikTok.
Yep, that's right. We are handing over all of our internet data gleefully in return for some backslaps from people viewing our videos.
Yes, so we'd love you to give us a follow on TikTok if you're on that platform. It would mean the world to us.
That's right. There'll be plenty of new content going up there, Joe.
The sooner we get to 1,000, the sooner we can go live.
Oh, dear. I'll never be able to fish in peace again. Yeah, so jump on our TikTok and, look forward to that. Now, Joe, I just want to quickly touch on there's a bit of a story going on at the moment.
Yes.
Very sad news is there's been a boat washed up on a beach at Bermagui, and we're not going to delve too deep into it because
it's a nice boat too.
It's a Bass Strait 24.
It looks like really new.
It is. So that's still ongoing. Search and rescue is out there doing amazing work trying to locate the man who was solo. So I'll just quickly read the article. A search will continue this morning for a 60-year-old Victorian boater believed missing in the waters off the New South Wales south coast town of Bermagui. Yesterday, police and marine rescue crews searched the area around Horseshoe Bay between Camel Rock and Bermagui for the man after his boat washed up on Haywards Beach about 3 p.m. So Chief Inspector Anthony Brazil from Marine Area Command said the search would be expanded this morning. Last seen launching his 7.5-metre boat around 12:30 yesterday from Bermagui boat ramp, heading north along Haywards Beach towards Camel Rock. About 3 p.m, a person walking along the beach happened to notice the boat drifting halfway along Haywards Beach. They continued watching and happened to see it wash up on the beach. And they went and had a look. No one was in the boat. There's minor damage. One of the motors was still running, and they called the police. So a lot of strong winds coming off the tropical cyclone that's happening in northern Queensland, still affecting down south there, and wild weather. So that's going to make things a little bit difficult. But fingers crossed that a miracle occurs there and that fella is found. But just a stark reminder, Joe, as we move into summer, we're seeing probably a little bit too many of these things starting to happen. And the last thing we want is for people to go out for a day of fishing, the thing that we're all passionate about and love, and then not return home to your family. So
I know my takeaway from that is look, that's a big boat. Like, yeah, try not to be so much of a hero about the weather. Like, that is a big boat, but even the biggest boats can come into trouble out in the open ocean there.
Well, the thing is, as we've heard from some of our previous podcasts, you just can't possibly prepare for every outcome that can happen out there, and you can be as ready, as experienced as anyone, and something random will happen, and all you can do is notify someone you're going out, take all the proper precautions, and hopefully everyone who heads out on the water this summer will return safely, and we hope that there's a positive outcome for this one, Joe.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, Joey, let's run the hook up. Let's check out some fishing reports.
All right.
Hey!
Welcome to the hookup, where we go around Australia and indeed the world for the freshest fishing reports. That was wacky.
Yeah.
You were flicking between our faces.
Yeah, we just had to fill in the time
I enjoyed it.
for the people who were watching at home.
I wasn't ready for it, but I hope everyone enjoyed that. The hookup, we're going to run through it quickly because we've got a couple of questions come in as well. So, snapper, Western Port, as we mentioned, tapering off slightly. Still some great fish around. You find you'll get your big knobby-nosed male snapper usually in this little period of the season, Joe. Just a little tip there. So, snapper in Western Port. Port Phillip, still going quite well. Old mate Reedy from Reedy's Rigs, as usual, smashing fish day in, day out. Joe, I don't know if you've been following that on the socials.
Port Phillip, Mornington out deep, some of the dumps. Also, Frankston on the mud. Good reports coming there.
Very good, Joe. I imagine you'll be hitting your spoil ground spot that you loved so much last year.
Yeah, Uncle Tony's lining that one up for Boxing Day. So we'll be back out there.
We've nominated a date even. Yes, very good. And Welsh Pool starting to fire up nicely, or has already fired up nicely, I should say. It's always this time of year that fishes very well. Maybe Peter Ferguson, who was on the live feed there, can give us a quick rundown on that one at some stage, Joe. But
Mount Singapore deep.
Always a massive chance of big snapper down there this time of year. Singapore deep, out near the entrance there, and the Franklin Channel, all very popular areas.
Oh, what about the Doughboy Channel? Is that a good one?
Yeah, that's I think so. I don't know that area that well, Joe, but I've heard it mentioned.
Okay.
As I imagine you have too.
I just like the sound of donuts.
Right. No, it's not what you think it is. It's here we go. Peter got some nice fish to 8 kilo last 2 weeks.
Oh, yes.
Woo! King Kong. Beautiful. Lakes Entrance snapper, Webby, who's also online here. He might give us an update on them. I've seen quite a few nice fish coming out of lakes.
This time of year, McLaughlin starts to fire.
Yes, all that zone there. And I think even friend of the show, Lee Rayner's been out the last few days and got stuck into some of those, Joey.
I think he was down at Welsh Pool.
I think what we're going to do is jump on with Simon at some stage and go snapper fishing.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Out
of Lakes Entrance.
Let's do that.
Looking forward to it. What else are we doing? Sharks, bronze whalers, unprecedented numbers of bronze whalers around this year, or maybe people are just actually targeting them. So guys, snapper fishing in Western Port, we all get bitten off a lot this time of year. Hook them, see them, lose them. But guys are actually starting to drop some shark baits in the water, and lo and behold, they're hooking up to big sharks, Joe. So that's a bit of an emerging fishery.
Mm-hmm.
My only thoughts on that are they're big females, generally in pup, come into the system to do their business. I just hope that there's some releasing that goes on and they don't all get hung up on gantries.
Yeah, definitely. I have seen a few of them getting chowed on, so they must be all right to eat.
Look, there's no worries keeping the odd one here and there, but it's also great to see a few of them being released because they're the ones that are coming to breed, obviously.
Look, when I always think about eating a fish, I get my trusty Rex Hunt's Fishing World book out, and Rex Hunt's Fishing World book, he gives bronze whaler a 3 chef's hat, 3 out of 5 chef's hats.
He's a shark lover from way back, old Rexy. So I'm surprised he didn't go higher on that one.
Yeah, no, gummy shark and school shark was higher, but he's given the bronzy 3 chefs out of 5.
Now, interesting, Joe. You know, I've long been a denouncer of gummy shark being a premium seafood. And
Yes.
we caught quite a nice one recently with friend Nigel.
Yes,
And
that was on our Mexican fiesta night.
And at that time, my freezer was empty. And as it rose up from the depths, I started a chant of kill, kill, kill. And we took that one home, bled it, gutted it, de-headed it, looked after it immaculately, took it home, cooked it up. And I was like, I was right. This tastes like crap.
Oh, really?
If you recall, Joe, when that thing was in the esky, you opened the esky and it
stunk.
smelled. It was no good. So we took it home. We all ate it. We all agreed it wasn't good. I said, all right, let's do a little experiment here. We're going to freeze some. So we vac sealed some, froze it. And then about a month later, because it's been about a month, we pulled it out of the fridge, Joe. We ate it and it was bloody beautiful. So there it
Wow.
is. Do not eat gummy shark fresh. Freeze it. 100 times better. Loses that ammonia taste.
Killed the ammonia.
Yep. Absolutely delicious.
Makes sense.
So plenty of gummies and stuff around as well in the bays and offshore, Joe. We've briefly mentioned the school tuna making a comeback again. The whiting we've already talked about. Kingfish in Tasmania we've already talked about. We're going to see more and more captures of those in Bass Strait and in the bays and Western Port. Makos, people starting to get into the makos. 'Tis the time of the year for mako sharks. And the deep dropping as well. Cray season in Tassie just opened, so everyone's getting stuck into the crays. Cray season in Victoria is open, and guys down here are diving for them and getting amongst some good ones, so good on them. And that's all I've got for the hookup.
Oh, and
currently.
if you're interested as well, the water starts to get warm this time of year in the Melbourne waters. We'll start to see the salmon schools, the flip flopping salmons nipping the top of the water like goldfish. They're good fun as well and make fantastic gummy bait if you can get yourself trawl yourself up a fresh salmon and hunk them into baits. Very, very good. So yeah,
I really love that, Joe. I really love that. We've had some questions.
It was with passion. I said that.
No, I liked it. I liked it. Now we've had some questions thrown into us, Joey. Joel Ryan is asking if he will get time to go fishing this year, which I don't know how to really answer that one, Joel. All I can say is all I see on social media is you riding motorbikes and doing extreme sports. So you need to probably prioritize, I'd say, my friend.
Yeah, well answered.
Next question. What happened to the school of 5 kilo plus snapper in Western Port this year?
I think they were there, but we just weren't near them.
No, we abandoned that whole part of the season. No, there was a lot of good fish caught in Western Port. Over 5 kilo, I would say.
Yeah,
they were there. It's they were just concentrated. I reckon this year is the best way to put it, Joe. You had to be on them, otherwise it was hard going. Have you fished off from Gibber? Have you fished off the west side of the prom much? If so, what's your experience? Yes, we love it down there. Cape Lip Trap,
yeah.
Blenny Island. Amazing kingfish fishing down that way.
One of my best ever sessions was off Cape Lip Trap in middle of January. We were spraying with the deck wash out the back of the boat, making it look like little sprinkles of bait fish, and we were casting poppers at kingfish on late afternoon. It was one of the best ever sessions ever. So Cape Lip Trap, but very launching off the beach off Walkerville, must take lots of care there. It's very sinky sand. Launched from Walkerville North, not Walkerville South.
Well, that one, south one's shut these days.
Is it? Oh, well, the south is where I think you and I both have bogged our cars in the south soft sand there.
Hence why I petitioned to get it shut.
Oh,
no.
Well done.
Yes.
Western Prom. Yep.
Probably still to this day the biggest kingfish I've ever seen, where it was Christmas Eve, Joe, many years ago, and I was with good friend Kev Bahaja and our old mate Regan, and this is genuinely about over 10 years ago. Lip Trap, Christmas Eve. They were freaking enormous. We didn't really know what we were doing, but we were towing live baits and working stick baits. We caught only one of the smaller ones, which was about 8 kilo, but we had 12 to 15, maybe 18 kilo kings shadowing stick baits, and we got reefed and we got busted off beside the boat, and they were massive. And I've never seen them like it again. But Lib
your
Trap
mo-
in its day, absolutely amazing kingfishery, as is Glenny Island. Generally around now, the Spearos start getting stuck into them, and they're always really big fish there as well, Joe.
Did your mussels pop?
Pop some mussels, that's true. And it's not just the kingfish down there, Joe. There's sensational big white. If you're going to catch 50 centimeter whiting, that prom area is a very good spot to start, Joe. They're massive.
Look, I'm going to go back to my casino analogy, putting all the chips on the table. I think I prefer to put them under the kingfish slot than the whiting slot if I'm going to spend hundreds and maybe even thousands with hyperinflation. Thousands in fuel and boat and food.
We also had one of our best squid sessions down there this time of year as well.
Did we?
Where
Sorry.
you weren't there, champ.
Okay.
Where we were jigging for kings and calamari kept chasing the jigs up. So we put a sinker on a squid jig and we were just catching them one after the other, and they're all massive. They were like doing some sort of spawning aggregation in the deep there.
Awesome.
And so we absolutely harvested them until there was no more harvesting to be done. So good big calamari fishing there as well, Joey. There's all sorts of good stuff, gummies and sharks and stuff down there, really good. Bit of an untouched secret that we'll get killed for talking about.
I love it though. It's just once again, you just have to go when the weather's good. Hard to get good weather down there.
It is.
Very windy.
So a comment on the live chat here that's really good. Alistair Goult, take out the yellow line with a spoon after gutting the gummy. It will smell like the strongest urine. He used more stronger language you've ever taken out, but makes it taste awesome. Yeah, you need to use a piss scraper.
Wait, did he mean you eat the yellow line?
No.
Oh.
No, he's saying take it out.
Oh yeah, makes it
You
taste
lunatic.
awesome. Yeah, and don't eat the yellow line inside the gum.
And Nigel has asked, what was the jerry can to blue eye ratio on this trip out with Jonah? Jonah's notorious for bringing a billion things on his boat, and there's not much deck room available because there's normally jerry cans, there's burley, there's eskies, there's all sorts of stuff going on in that boat.
Do you need me to whip out the Jerry Seinfeld theme on the bass?
No. So yeah, we were shark belly and everything that trip as well, Joe. So there wasn't much deck room. We had one very large dopey blue shark come up and swim around the boat a few times.
Oh, they're curious.
He was curious, but I wanted to get some good footage of him, and he just stayed out of my camera range, which I was spewing about. So yeah, we missed out on getting some good shots of him. But yeah, no, there wasn't much deck room at all on that little boat. I nearly fell over on the blue ice slime many times. It was quite challenging.
Are they slimy blue eyes?
Oh, very slimy. Very, very slimy, Joe.
And just looping back on blue eye, you really like eating them, don't you? You said they're good, yeah?
Yeah, they're sensational. They're actually a really good sports fish as well. Like they go really hard and they'll pull the whole way to the surface too.
What, even when you've pressed the button on the electric reel?
Yeah. The electrics really struggles at times. It's hard work watching it, I got to say. And interesting thing about blue eye is they can be caught quite a long way off the bottom sometimes, Joe. So they can feed almost, nearly mid-water, but, quite a long way off the bottom in the scatter layer there. They're not afraid to come off the bottom.
Yeah, nice.
Semi-pelagic nearly. So, yeah, that's all the questions we have for this evening. A couple of other little points. There's some more exciting news that I'll touch on a little bit more in the coming weeks. I've actually got a new job which is going to intertwine with the fishing world and what we do here a lot more than what I currently do. So I'll be
this is really big news, in fact. Really exciting.
It is. I may announce it once I've finished up at the current workplace, I think. Do you think, Joe? Is that a good idea?
I don't think they'll mind.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I'll be working at a place called Mully's Marine, Joe, in Rosebud, and we'll be. They've got Haynes Hunter boats and a brand called Ital, which are like a luxury rib available there. So I'll be hopefully selling some boats for them and doing some cool stuff with those guys. So if you're in the market for a boat, come down and say g'day.
So just think, if you think of Haynes Hunter, think of Dave Standing.
That's it. So
Haynes Hunter, Dave Standing.
I'm hoping that we can do some exciting stuff there, Joey, and it's going to be nice to be able to work in the work life with the fishing life,
Yeah.
as we say. So yeah, looking forward to that, Joe. So
Now, congratulations, Dave. That's fantastic news. I'm absolutely wrapped for you.
So yeah, exciting times ahead, Joey. I think that's probably all we've really got to cover tonight. It was a bloody massive one, and
I think we'll do another one of these before the end of the year. What do you reckon?
It's been quite good to be live again, as scary as it was when, as usual, some random tech thing nearly stopped us at the start there. But that's all good. We overcame it, and we are ready to rumble again. Hopefully, we'll be back next week, and we'll catch you all here.
Yeah, love it, Dave.
All right, Joey, I've had a ball tonight, and it's been great hanging out with you.
No, it's
But
been
for
good.
now-
It's been good to catch up on the airwaves, Dave, and it's good to go back to our roots.
Yeah,
Go back to
fantastic.
where we were born.
Looking forward to getting some fishing in with you before next week too, Joe. So we'll have that to talk about.
Yeah, don't forget as well, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We're going to be uploading lots of goodies in the next couple of weeks there. So stay tuned, and we'll catch you next time.
Love you all.
King Kong, Donkey Kong, mate. Look.
King Kong Donkey Hook, mate.